Hey scholars! Welcome back to Mathora. I'm Miss B and you'll be learning with me. Today, we're going to learn how to solve unit rate problems. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to identify a unit rate, solve unit rate word problems, and explain why your answer makes sense. First, we're going to tap into what we already know, aka our prior knowledge. Then, we're going to get into the lesson. And throughout the lesson, I'll be checking to see how well you understand. Now let's talk about the basics. Before we begin, there are two skills that you should already know. You should already know how to multiply and divide. If you need a refresher on multiplying or dividing, don't worry. I've already created lessons covering both of those skills. Go watch those videos first, practice, and then come back and solve these unit rate problems with us. So let's start with a simple question. What is a unit rate? A unit rate is a comparison of two different measurements where the second number is always 1. Let's look at some examples. 60 miles per hour. If you ever looked at the speedometer in your parents' car while they were driving, you might have seen something that said MPH. MPH stands for miles per hour. Here we have two different measurements. We have miles and we have hour. So your parent, as they're driving, they're going 60 miles per 1 hour. Notice how the second number is 1. Let's look at another example. 260 calories per serving. On the back of a cereal box, you'll often see calories per serving. It's not usually the calories of the whole box, but the calories per 1 serving. So here we have the comparison between calories and serving sizes. So per 1 serving, you'll be eating 260 calories. This is just a prediction, but most cereal, it's full of sugar. So the next one you might see is $20 per hour. If someone says they're making $20 an hour, that's what we call a rate. And so we're comparing the units. We're comparing the dollar to 1 hour. So for every 1 hour, this person is making $20, which in today's world, that's pretty decent. If you're watching this 10 years from now, I don't really know. You let me know. Comment down below. But yes, those are 3 examples of unit rates. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing in our word problems today. We need to figure out how much per 1 unit. Before we solve our first problem, I want to tell you the biggest mistake students make. Most students don't struggle with dividing, they struggle with dividing the wrong numbers. They move in too fast. They see numbers, they grab their calculator, and they start calculating before they even understand what the question is asking. Let's not do that today, okay? And this is why I came up with today's strategy. Really simple and straight to the point. So far, in your notebook, you should have the title of this lesson written down, the definition of a unit rate with some examples, and now let's go ahead and write down the strategy of the day. The strategy of the day is read first, calculate second. Before your pencil moves, your eyes should move. Read the question first, figure out what it's asking, then calculate so we can get an accurate answer. So let's go ahead and get into example 1. Example 1. A movie theater sells 10 tickets for $85. What is the cost of 1 movie ticket? First, I'm going to highlight the question. So the question is, what is the cost of 1 movie ticket? Now, let's box in what they already gave us. They already told us that 10 tickets cost $85. So now that we have our question highlighted and what they gave us boxed in, what are we trying to find? We're trying to find the cost. And since we're trying to find the cost, whenever we divide, the cost is going to go first. So we need to divide 85, the cost, divided by the number of tickets. So we're doing 85 divided by 10, and that's how we know that 85 goes first, because within the question it is asking for the cost, okay? So here we're going to put 10 on the outside, we're going to put 85 on the inside, and we're going to keep dividing until we reach 0. We didn't reach 0 yet and we ran out of numbers, so we need to add a decimal and add a 0 and bring it down and keep dividing. And we have reached 0. So therefore, this is our quotient, and our quotient is going to be our final answer. So once again, what is the cost of 1 movie ticket? The cost of 1 movie ticket is going to be, don't forget your dollar sign, $8.50. And I'm going to add a 0 here just so it looks normal. So our final answer is $8.50. Be sure to box in your final answer. Example 2. Sophia rode her bicycle 42 miles in 6 hours. At the same speed, how many miles did Sophia ride per hour? First, I'm going to highlight the question. How many miles did Sophia ride per hour? So they want to know how many miles does she ride per every 1 hour, right? Now I'm going to box in what they already gave us. They said that she rode 42 miles in 6 hours. How do we set up this equation? AKA, what are we trying to find? We're hearing the question, we're trying to find miles. So therefore, we need to take miles and divide it by hours. So our equation should look like this. 42 divided by 6. Now we're going to go ahead and divide that like normal until we reach 0. If we reach 0, that means we have our final answer of 7. So let's just make sure we answer the question correctly. How many miles did Sophia ride per hour? Sophia rode 7 miles per hour. And we're going to abbreviate that as MPH. Be sure to box in your final answer. Check for understanding. Felix solved the problem and got this answer. However, Felix's answer is incorrect. Why is Felix's answer incorrect, and how could he check his work? Pause the video and see if you can explain what went wrong. Then press the play and compare your answer to my answer. Okay, now let's talk about it. Felix divided before he thought about what the question was asking. It seems like he just took 12, that was the first number he seen, and then he took the second number and he divided it and got his answer. He could have multiplied 0.67 times 12 to see if it equaled $18. If he were to multiply 0.67 times 12, he would know that it doesn't equal $18, which would tell him that his answer is incorrect. Example 3. This time we have a table. The question says, which smoothie shop sold smoothies at a rate of 5 smoothies per hour? Select all that apply. So the first thing we need to know is how to read this chart. So here we have all of our smoothie shops. Here we have the smoothies that they sold, and here we have how many hours they were open. Let's go through the list. Berry Blast sold 36 smoothies in 9 hours. Tropical Twist sold 40 smoothies in 8 hours. Fruit Fusion sold 27 smoothies in 9 hours. And Mango Magic sold 35 smoothies in 7 hours. Let's highlight the question. Which smoothie shop sold smoothies at a rate of 5 smoothies per hour? So what are we trying to find? We're trying to find smoothies. So therefore, when we set up our answer, we need to do smoothies divided by hours, okay? I'm going to calculate the unit rate for Berry Blast. We have 36 divided by 9. So that equals 4 smoothies per hour. And we're going to abbreviate it because we are going to do a lot of calculations this time. So for the Berry Blast, we have 4 smoothies per hour. Remember, we're trying to find the rate of 5 smoothies per hour. So let's keep going. Let's do Tropical Twist. Tropical Twist had 40 smoothies per 8 hours. And I'm not going to do long division this time because it is not necessary. 40 divided by 8 equals 5. And that's going to give us 5 smoothies per hour. We have an answer, but the question says select all that apply, which means we need to find the rate for all of them to make sure we're not missing a smoothie shop. We have 27 divided by 9. 27 divided by 9 is 3 smoothies per hour. That's not an answer choice because we're looking for 5 smoothies per hour. And last one, we have Mango Magic. We have 35 smoothies divided by 7 hours. And 35 divided by 7 is 5. So that tells us that it is 5 smoothies per hour. Notice for this problem, we had to find the rate for all of them. And our final answers are going to be Tropical Twist, box that in, and Mango Magic. Be sure to box that in. Example 4. Maya plants 18 flowers in 3 hours. At the same rate, how many flowers can she plant in 8 hours? First, let's highlight the question. So the question is, how many flowers can she plant in 8 hours? Do you notice something about this question? Yes, this is a 2-step equation. So let's go ahead and box in what they already gave us. So they said she plants 18 flowers in 3 hours. Also notice it says at the same rate. Well, that's what we need to find out first. What is the rate? How many flowers does she plant in 1 hour? And so, what number are we going to put first? flowers because we're trying to see how many flowers in how many hours, okay? But we need to figure out what her rate is. So in order to figure out her rate, we need to do 18 divided by 3. And that's going to tell us how many flowers she plants in 1 hour. Alrighty, so therefore, Maya is planting 6 flowers per hour. Is that our final answer? No, it is not our final answer. Why is it not our final answer? It's not our final answer because it does not answer the question. It does not answer how many flowers she plants in 8 hours. Instead, it answers how many flowers she plants in 1 hour. So we only found out the rate. So since we know that she plants 6 flowers in 1 hour, how many flowers in 8 hours? Well, since it's 6 flowers per 1 hour, we just need to do 6 times 8. And what is 6 times 8? 6 times 8 is 48. So therefore, Maya planted 48 flowers in 8 hours. Be sure to box in your final answer. The last check for understanding. We're back at Felix's work. Now, Felix went to go correct his work, and he does have the correct answer. What I want you to do is I want you to pause this video. I want you to find a trusted adult, big sister, or anybody that you can find to explain why Felix's answer is correct. And the reason we're doing this is whenever you explain something back to somebody, you have a higher percent chance of understanding on all levels. Awesome job, scholars. That is the end of the video. Be sure to check out my website for more practice, such as worksheets and games. Like if you understand how to solve unit rate problems, subscribe for more learning made clear, and be sure to turn on your notifications so you never miss a math or a lesson, and comment a green heart if you made it this far. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye, scholars!